Alrighty then. Myles Rudd, or Milo, you are a lifeguard.
Yeah.
And you're also my brother-in-law. So this is a fun one to...
Family affair.
A family affair, yeah. I invite you on the podcast. And then it's hilarious because we sit and have all these random conversations. And we'll have a nice, maybe a slightly more... timid version of some of our convos. But dude, thank you so much for coming out. I appreciate it.
Really a pleasure.
And dude, I really am keen to get into sort of the lifeguarding thing. I mean, I know a little bit because obviously, we sit at family lunch and we
hear the stories.
We hear the stories.
Watch Baywatch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that.
I always get those comments, dude. Like, oh, you're a lifeguard. So you're like David Hasselhoff on the beach, just running up and down. One of the main stories I always get.
I think when you're fit, you can. I don't know. I mean, I've seen some of the guys you kind of graft with. They're not all abs and whatever like Hasselhoff, but.
Very far from it, dude. Lifesaving it's kind of like rugby for all shapes and sizes. You know, like you'll get lifeguards you look at and you think, yeah, how can this be a lifeguard? He looks so unfit, but people forget that fat floats.
Fat
floats and muscle sinks. Bro.
So you're telling me if I go to the beach now, I'm safe?
Yeah, you've got your tube, you've got your built-in tube and everything, you know. But that's where it comes to who the guy in charge is, the senior is, because obviously different people are good at different things.
Yes.
So yes, Mr. Pudgy Lifeguard might not be able to run very far or whatever, but he might have skills within first aid. He might have what do they call it? An ambulance assistance certificate. So they're excellent when it comes to gushing blood and serious injuries. I've even met lifeguards that are scared of blood.
Okay.
That faint at the sight of blood, you know. So everybody
that's not something
has
you
a role
would think.
To play. Yeah.
It's not something you would think like, okay, cool, lifeguard, your blood is a thing. Normally it'd be like lifeguard saving, some bra or some chick from drowning.
No, it's a how can I say, not multifaceted, but
multidisciplinary
anything
thing.
Can happen, dude. Anything can happen, especially at I'm sure you know a lot of beaches here in Cape Town have a lot of rocks and
yes,
and some not so lacquer people leave bottles around and children run around, get cut and everything. So we have to at least be able to stop bleeding or set a bone back into place, so on and so forth.
Nice.
I guess pretty hectic.
It does. Jeez, I'm sure. Okay, before we get there, do you want a beer? I've got over here. We've got the Devil's Peak stuff that I was telling you about the other day. So feel free. So that's pretty cool. It's the Devil's Peak Hero. So it's a non-alcoholic one.
Oh, lovely.
So I'm quite stoked. I mean, we had a chat about this the other day. I don't think you've had one before.
I'm not a big... I don't buy non-alcoholic beer.
you drink with a purpose in mind.
You know what I'm saying.
Well, I think I like it because, like for me at least, like I can drive. So, I mean, I'm married to your sister, right? So you don't want this chop going to a braai, drinking 6 beers, and then driving home fraught.
Exactly.
Because your sister's in the car, and that's precious cargo.
The cops don't take any excuses these
days.
Nonsense. Lock you up.
No nonsense.
Impound the car.
Yeah, exactly. But so I find like these things are like 0.5%. I can drop 6 of these when I go to a braai at, say, Quentin's place or Cam's place or whatever, and I can drive home and I'm under the limit by miles.
Yeah, and you feel good. You feel
you feel hundreds. Yeah, you feel hundreds. Yeah. Anyway, so enjoy it, bro. I think we'll instead of there's a nice one. Yeah, cheers, bro. Yeah, no, it tastes like a bro.
Ooh.
I know. You see, everyone does that when I give them one for the first time. It's like that's quite nice.
It's like got a citrusy thing going on.
Yes, yeah. It does have really a bit of a citrusy thing. Do me a favor, can you just stick it over there because it's gonna possibly get in the way of that camera.
People, if you go to the beach and you want to drink, do this non-alcoholic stuff, man. Much better.
Well, what's the rules there around that? Because I mean, your beaches and pools, that's where you've worked.
Yeah.
From what I know at least. So I know you've done like Strand Beach, you've done a couple of other beaches.
Quite a few, yeah.
And the pool there by Strand as well.
Actually, I've done over 16 of the public pools in Cape Town.
Yeah. Are there that many?
Yeah, I think there's 38 if I'm not mistaken. There's quite a few pools, but the reason why you don't hear a lot about them is because a lot of them are under construction for vandalism or upgrades. Like I think Sea Point has been closed for many years now.
Yeah.
and they've been pumping millions of rands to upgrade the facilities and so on and so forth. So sometimes it does stay closed for a long time. Then for the season, the city will only operate with 25 pools, for example.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Then they also try and open the pools in the areas that are furthest away from the beaches.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
so
right.
just for the people and so, yeah.
Okay.
But when it comes to drinking on the beaches, zero tolerance, bro.
No tolerance, eh?
No tolerance at all.
And who's policing that? It's not the lifeguards, right?
No, thank God. I wish sometimes on the job, I wish we had those powers.
Yeah.
But then I'm glad we don't. Because when law enforcement does rock up, people after they get a bit sloshed, they are very brave and violent, and they'll fight the cops.
Yeah, they've got a bit of karate water inside them, and now
they'll fight the cops.
Now they want to box or whatever.
There's a couple times when there's this one beach. Oh, should I mention names? Should I?
Maybe not names. It's just
one
beach is fine. Oh.
Okay, well, there's certain beaches in Cape Town that have a very bad reputation. Okay,
I suppose you can name them. I suppose it's not a a train smash.
Maybe
not name people. But
no, I won't name people. But anyway, so at this particular beach, they have a pier that runs out into the ocean.
Yeah.
And then under the pier is 2 tidal pools, and then there's about a stretch of 10 meters of pier that's in open ocean.
Right.
So now the O's that get nice and drunk, they decide they want to dive from the pier into the tidal pool.
Of course.
Yeah, but not a very safe thing to do if you don't know how deep it is, And then it's also about 3 to 4 meters high above the water. So we don't mind if you dive once or twice, it's cool. But when it starts getting out of hand, like when there's 30 people standing up there and it's going crazy, and then the guys start getting brave and they start diving extra close to the wall, or you know what I'm saying? So we try and stop it. And after all the years of doing it, look, if I push the issue any further, things could get a bit violent. Jump on the walkie-talkie, call for law enforcement. They send maybe 1 or 2 O's down, dude. They walk up and down the pier. They try and stop the people from diving. I've seen their guns get taken out of their holsters. Yeah. The one particular cop, he was trying to hold a guy from diving. One of his friends took the gun out the holster and pulled the trigger, but safety was on, so it's click, click.
No.
Click, click. So the cop got angry, let go of that guy, turned around to try and get the gun back. That's when they all tackled him, threw the cop in the water, boots and all. Yeah.
No.
People get crazy, I'm telling you.
Just a little bit of booze, and I mean, look, I've gotten a little bit tipsy a few times in my life. I've gotten, a little maybe Diemakar or whatever else, and yeah, I mean, as soon as there's a box and a hill, and then you're like, we should totally slide down. All of a sudden,
crazy ideas.
Yeah, the crazy comes out a little bit. True. Okay, cool. So there's a zero tolerance. That's the beaches and the pools, I'm assuming.
And the pools, yeah. Back in the day, they used to hire out the pools. Like if you want to have a private function, maybe it's your daughter's sweet 16 or whatever, and you could hire out the venue.
Yeah.
And then have your little private party. That time we used to allow booze and things. But then we found the problem is when we come to work the next morning, the place is
trashed. Yeah.
Trashed, bro. Yeah. Trashed. I mean, there's even there's a pool that has a flat right up against it.
As in a private residence?
Yeah, private residence. Yeah. So there's maybe, say, 2 meters between the wall and the flat, and it's about maybe 6 stories high, the flat. All the pools are closed on Christmas Day. We open for every other day besides Christmas Day. New Year's we open, Easter we open, you name it, we open on those days. Just Christmas Day. So now Christmas Day we closed. We come to work on Boxing Day, 26th. Mm-hmm. We find prams, we find wheelbarrows, we find bicycles, all kinds, BMX, mountain bike, razor, you name it. We find all the bikes, bricks, everything,
Yeah.
So then you have to spend the 26th of December cleaning out a pool with probably over 1,000 people standing, waiting to get into the pool, getting angry because it's super hot, and then they start throwing stones. Now you get angry because you're taking the stones out, and now you have more stones flying over. So it gets pretty stressful. Really.
But you wouldn't. I mean, okay, you wouldn't think, because I mean, if you think lifeguard, you kind of think, or for me at least, I think like Strand Beach.
Nice vibes.
By the surf club, you check the O's chilling there, and then every now and again the O goes out on his board or something, and
no doubt,
drills that whistle, beep beep, hey, get in between the poles, hey, come in between the poles, please. And that's kind of what you think,
80% of the time you're 100% right.
I'm 100% right. 80%
of the time. So 80% of the time you rock up at the beach. Most beaches want you to open at 8:30, 9 o'clock. But on the busy holidays, people must start coming 6 o'clock in the morning to come to the beach, because it gets very full.
Yeah. Well, you want to get your spot.
Exactly.
Because
So
I mean, it's like that. What's that game? Where's Waldo? That's
exactly. If you're looking for your family, maybe you drop my sister off to go find a spot. You park the car. Now you must play Where's Lee.
Yes.
It gets pretty hectic. So I'd say we work super hard from the time December school holidays start all the way up until, I'd say, mid-February.
Yeah.
Those are the times when we really graft hard for our money. You get lifeguards that will work 16 hours a day without going home.
Yeah.
You'll get, there's many times I don't get any off days because that's
well,
when you need it.
I remember a couple of times you've worked like pretty much right through Christmas. I mean, you don't work Christmas Day, but then you want to sleep because you've been like trashed, you're wrecked.
If you work by the pools, you get off on Christmas.
Fair, yes.
If you work on the beach, no such thing as off.
Okay.
Yeah, in Cape Town.
Oh, so that's why you came to Christmas last year, because you were at the pool.
I was at the pool,
there
exactly.
Okay, that now makes more sense, yeah.
So there's days, like especially when the school holidays are finished, December school holidays, then all of a sudden you'll come to the beach or to the pool. It's quiet, it's beautiful, birds are singing, water's blue, it's beautiful. Next thing, there's 9 buses that just come out of nowhere, and you have no preparation for any of it. So it can go from 0 to 100 very fast, and sometimes it can get scary.
Yeah.
There's even times when you're at the pool, dead quiet. Next thing you get a phone call. No, they're bringing what's this, Boys Town.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the city obviously runs programs and stuff, and sometimes things get lost in communication wise or whatever. So now you sitting at the pool having a nice time. All the pensioner ladies come and do
their water aerobics.
Yeah. I've never understood that stuff. They come
but you're not old enough yet, bro. One day,
maybe
you're gonna be old and I need to stretch this thing out.
I still help them with their stretches and stuff. You gotta be nice to the old ladies. They got young daughters.
Milo is single for all the ladies out there.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But anyway, so then while all the old pensioner ladies are there, they're having their time with their empty 2-liter bottles, doing their exercises. Next thing, you'll get 2 to 3 buses come in full of these naughty Boys Town lighties that are coming to do skills development or whatever they have planned for them there. Then we don't even know. Then they're like, sorry, who's in charge here? Then we're like, us. And they're like, yeah, can you just train the kids?
Oh, just like that. So I mean, I'm assuming it must be like, it's supposed to be organized.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be. It's just maybe gets lost in the bureaucracy.
Someone that was supposed to tell, like person 1 was supposed to tell person 2, but person 1 is off on that day, and person 2 was at work, and then the next day person 2 was off, and person 1 wasn't there, so it gets lost in communications or whatever. 90% of the time, everything works well.
Yes.
But you do get the surprise nips,
Yeah.
Especially, we get all kinds of weird things. We get church groups that come for baptisms.
Yes.
In public pools, we get even people who are from Islam. They come. They'll sometimes book out the pool for a gala.
Okay.
And then they'll come because they've got very strict religious things that they do. So they book the pool out for a gala, which is not cheap. And then they allow. And then even us, we won't let any male lifeguards work on that day.
Right. Okay.
It's a lot of bending to people's will, and
for sure.
You have to respect people, the cultures, and so. I've got into a lot of fights with people that want to swim in jeans and tracksuits. So now you come to them, you're like, excuse me, sir, but you can't swim in these clothes. And they're like, hey, but I'm Muslim. You're like, I understand, but at the same time, it's a safety issue.
Yeah.
Messes with the water, all of that. But at the same time, you have to give them options. Luckily, a lot of the pools that I used to work at are close to shops, Mr. Price, Ackermans, and all of that. And I'll explain to them, look, just go there and ask them for halal swimwear. I'm not even sure if that's the correct term, but
I mean, it's something.
You must get your full body swimsuits and all of that. So you have to enforce it.
That started like, I mean, if you think back to, okay, we're gonna think back because we weren't alive, but way back, in the early, say, 1900s and whatever else, modesty was a thing, and they had full long sleeve. I mean, the Bettys had like these long sleeve right up to the neck,
pretty
much, like a onesie almost. You know? And then it slowly but surely started changing. But I mean, swimming. I mean, I've jumped into a couple of pools on New Year's parties. When you've had a couple of beers and you dive in the pool with your jeans on or something. It's heavy.
It doesn't feel lacquer.
Yeah,
it's not
like your jeans get like 3 times the weight.
Exactly.
And then if you're in the surf, that can't be good.
It's not good at all.
I mean, I suckle on a good day to keep my head above water.
No, especially if the water's wild, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If the water is wild, the worst thing I ever experienced was a lot of people don't know that a swimming pool can be more dangerous than the ocean.
Okay.
The ocean's water's moving. So moving water keeps you more buoyant easily. The only bad thing is if the water's moving in the wrong direction, you're extra.
Yeah. I know the salt helps as
also
well,
buoyancy.
That keeps you a little bit more buoyant.
Now in a pool, it's still water.
Right.
So everything relies on you. If you don't know what you're doing in still water, I call it the sweet spot. There's a spot where the surface is and the floor is, you directly in the middle. If you don't know how to kick and paddle and all that, you're going to stay in that middle zone.
Yeah.
You know, that's why even on movies, when you see people drowning, that's not how it looks in real life, dude.
Yeah.
90% of the time, if you don't know what you're looking for, you're not going to recognize someone who's drowning. You're going to think they're playing or just messing around or whatever.
Because it's not like you just sink. I know, like, okay, I've seen a couple of kids, like I remember quite vividly, one of my brothers, I can't remember if it was Greg or Rana, but like we were at a pool and I mean, he just, I don't know, walked past the pool, fell in kind of, I think it might have been Rana. I don't know. But like my dad had to jump in and he just sunk straight to the bottom. And he kind of just sat there.
So you know what I find? When your lungs are full of air, you buoyant, you float, and very well actually. You know, especially if you keep calm and you just lay in the water. If your lungs are full of air, you will float to the bottom. But what a lot of kids do,
to the top, you know?
What a lot of kids do is when they're in that panic mode, they try and scream.
Yes.
Under the water, that expels all the air out of their lungs, which makes them just sink like a brick. You know.
Yeah.
So one of the worst experiences I've had with people wearing the wrong swimming wear was an overweight lady. Is that PC?
Yeah, it's all right.
So like a overweight lady, but not like slightly overweight. I'm talking like
a big lady.
Yeah, she'll change the water level of the pool when she jumps in. So she jumped in and look, no one spoke to her because we don't even know if they make swimming clothes in that size, you know. So we allowed her to swim in a I'd call it a vest or a blouse.
Sure.
So when we didn't expect her to be so brave. When we said, okay, look, we'll bend the rule for you today a bit because, like, you know, so you can enjoy yourself in the water. It's not so busy today. No one's going to give us issues, so go ahead, have fun. She got so excited, she ran from the stands, waddled and jumped into the water. And then a blouse, you know, like the material makes a bubble.
Yes.
And floated up over her head.
Dude, that's terrifying.
It floated up over her head. She panicked and tried to grab it off, but she ended up wrapping herself up around in it. And two of the smallest lifeguards were the first O's in to go get her out.
Yeah.
Funniest save I ever saw, but also at the same time, the freakiest thing I ever saw. Dude.
But I mean, you look at, I've had it before. I swim with a t-shirt on. Maybe it's like really hot now. I don't have the melanin count. Right?
Or someone pushes you in.
But I've had before as well with like a flowy shirt. Because it just gets on your face, and because it's wet, it sticks, and you can't breathe. And even if you come above, you try to breathe. The first little bit you get is water.
Exactly. That's when waterboarding comes in. That's torture.
Yeah.
You're basically waterboarding yourself in deep water.
No, that's petrifying, dude.
It is.
That is terrifying. What's the difference between? I mean, I want to dive into sort of maybe a bit of the beach, a bit of the pool.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the difference or the main differences for you in terms of? Let's maybe start with the pool and say, okay, cool. What's 3 or 4 things that people can look at to sort of be safe around a pool, and then we can move into what's 3 or 4 things to be safe around the beach. You know?
Okay, so with the pool, especially if it's at a public swimming pool, but I don't really worry if it's public or private because it's basically the same.
Yeah, man, it's water, bro.
Yeah. So one of the biggest issues I have is parents with small children under the age of 4 or 5, you know. Experienced parents are better, but new parents, like maybe they've got one child that's 3 years old, they want to have fun in the deep side or the big pool. Then they want to leave their little toddlers alone in the baby pool. That's not very advisable. Even at pools where there are no baby pools, parents are laying in the sun, sunbathing, catching a nap or whatever. Baby's playing next to them with a ball. The wind catches the ball, rolls to the pool. Child is running after the ball, and bloop, in they go. I've seen mothers that are so into a conversation, they're holding the pram, rocking the pram back and forth with the kid in. Then, I don't know what she's talking about, but she has to use her hands to talk. And then all pools have a little slant.
Yeah.
So if the water goes out, it will go back in. She didn't realize that. The pram just took a nice easy U-turn.
Oh, man.
Fell in the water face first with a baby inside.
Yeah.
That baby I had to give CPR.
Jeez.
Well, not really even CPR. It was coughing. I just put my finger down his throat so it could get that water out.
Yeah.
So one of the main things I'd say is watch your children. Really take care of your kids. Also, these at public pools especially, you don't know who's coming in there. You know, so you might get maybe an uncle that is inclined to like smaller kids. You know, or maybe you get kids that are doing things they're not supposed to, like smoking in toilets or whatever. You know, your kids get exposed to that kind of stuff. So besides the kids, the other thing I'd say is glass. A lot of people don't realize how much of a headache glass can be in a swimming pool. Where there's just imagine you sitting at your pool at home. Someone gives you a beer glass, a draft glass, or a brandy, or whatever, juice. You drop the glass by accident, it breaks. The glass is clear.
You can't see it, yeah.
It's invisible in the water. You can't see it. So a lot of people don't realize that when we have glass that breaks in a public pool, it's procedure for us to drain the entire pool, which closes the whole pool for maybe 2 weeks. Because it's not a small pool.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've seen that one in Strand. It's huge.
Yeah,
it's like
meters,
Olympic size.
Olympic spec. So glass can cause a lot of issues. Babies that don't have the Pampers waterproofing covering.
Yes.
Yeah, you see little floaters floating around. That's what a lot of people are scared of when it comes to public pools. The what you call it, the clarity, not the clarity, the cleanliness of the water.
Yeah.
That's another thing I want to dispel. We keep our water incredibly clean. Especially in when it's super busy, we test the water every hour.
Every hour?
Every hour. Especially if it's over 36 degrees, the pool's at capacity. Every hour we test the water.
I suppose you got 400 people peeing in the pool.
You see? No, but true. So we have to keep our chlorine levels at a premium as well as the pH levels. If our pH gets too high, that's when you start getting you white. I don't know if you get it, but that white lines that you get when you scratch.
We go red.
If the chlorine's too high, some people are allergic to chlorine. They get chlorine rash and eyes are red.
Put, and straight chlorine onto your skin.
It burns.
It burns
you.
Yeah.
All of our public pools have chlorine gas, which is a super strong form of chlorine. It kills germs on contact.
Yeah, they used that in World War I as
a weapon.
Yes,
yeah. So besides our normal chlorine we throw in on a daily basis, and besides our tests we do on a daily basis, once a week we get Ituba labs. They come and take samples of our water to take it in. If there's any fecal matter at all, they'll close the pool down.
Sure.
Fecal matter will only arise when your chlorine levels are not at its peak when it needs to be. Then fecal matter will start to grow and stuff. If there is a mistake and a baby has a runny tummy and it lets that brown stuff go, we close the pool. We close it down because there's so many different diseases that can come out of that. If you get sick with some poo-poo disease, you're going to be a millionaire because you're going to sue the council, obviously. So they're very scared of that. We make sure that our water is good. But that's another safety thing I'd say is put waterproofing things on your babies so that they don't, like, anything can happen. It's a mistake, you know?
Yeah. No, but I mean, my family's fostered kids for years. I remember being sort of teenager and babies. No, babies want to swim, but you don't want them sort of swimming without some kind of a diaper or something on, because next thing they let one loose. So yeah, I mean, those waterproof jobbies, they just slide on. They're like a pair of pants. You see, lekker, man.
Go for it.
They still get a bit of water inside, and that nappy goes whoop.
But it stops whatever coming out.
But it stops. It stops everything from sort of like getting out and whatnot. Okay, cool. The beach. The beach is a funny one because there's a lot going on there.
See, there's aspects I like of working at a pool, and there's aspects I like of working at a beach. Like at a pool, there's at every building, I'd say there's a big sign on the front that says "Right of Admission Reserved."
Yes.
Which basically means we have the right whether we want to admit you or not.
Yeah.
So if you come inside and you break rules and you're full of nonsense, we have the right to say, listen here, take your stuff, go home.
Vat jou goed en trek vir.
You don't want to, you'll get law enforcement, they'll help you out. Good luck doing that at a beach.
Sure.
Good luck doing that at the beach, you know.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got a beach like Strand, it's like 10 kilometers long.
Yeah, it's huge.
So if you make me angry, I moan at you, you just walk like 100 meters down. I can't remember what your face looks like. I see so many people. Safety at the beach. Once again, keep your eyes on your children. Children, they disappear so quick, man.
Yeah.
There's also many times when parents will come running up, oh, we can't find our child. And then it takes how many resources away because one lifeguard's not going to help much. We get on the radio, we say, listen, there's a child missing, keep your eyes out. We can't get all the lifeguards. Parents get angry, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they get angry. They see there's 25 lifeguards on the beach and only 2 of you are helping us. Look, we're like, but we're here to be performing a function. It's not, we're not child carers.
Yeah.
We're not babysitters.
Yeah.
You'll even get parents that are like, oh, I have to go to work, but it's school holidays. I'm just going to drop the kids off at the beach for the day. Which is fine if your kids are 16, 17, 18. Yeah. But when the oldest in the group is 14 and everyone else is like young.
No, yeah.
It's not going to work, bro. So I'd say one of the most important rules, keep your eyes on your children. Alcohol, not a good idea.
Yeah. And even pitching up drunk, not a good idea.
Not a good idea at all. Usually, especially when you work at a far out beach, like I've worked at Kochel Bay before, it's pretty far in the bundus, You do get people that are naughty. And then I just tell the squad, like, look, guys, we're not law enforcement. So we can't enforce laws, but what we can do is just enlighten them.
Yeah.
So when you see people drinking, just go to them and say, listen, you guys, we can see you enjoying yourself. You don't look like you're going to swim. But if you're going to swim, then we don't drink rather. You know, like explain to them and 90% of the people understand and they're super nice people or whatever, Now and again, you'll get you a guy that gets like, oh, you can't tell me I've been swimming longer than you've been alive. And
I pay my taxes and you work for me.
Amazing,
yeah, you work for me.
back in the pre-94 days, it was most whites only.
Yeah.
So now there's a tidal pool there called, is it Clippies? Can't remember the name of the tidal pool, but there's people that's been going there for generations.
Yeah.
And then they're like, I've been swimming here longer than lifeguards have been on this beach. And I'm like, sir, I understand your point, but you're here once a year. I'm here every single day. I've seen Kochel Bay is so dangerous when it comes to riptides. That's something we should talk about also for safety at the beach, riptides. I'll probably explain how to recognize a riptide soon, but it's not that hard. But riptides are very, very dangerous in Kochel Bay. You'll get I've seen 8 in a row, probably 30 meters apart.
Sure.
So you think, like, when they say if you get caught in a riptide, swim parallel to the beach, you think you're doing that, but you swim from riptide into another riptide.
Oh, man.
And sometimes you'll go from a weak riptide into a super strong riptide. So there's lots of signs on the beach. Read those things, dude. Shark flags. People don't understand what the colors mean of shark flags, and there's such big signs at the beach.
Well, there was that guy in Muizenberg in what's the beach past Muizenberg? Simonstown.
Yeah.
And he was also like the guys that put the flag up saying, hey, there's a shark, and he had been swimming there for like 30 years or something, but I got munched.
Yeah.
A child his foot off or something, and he's like, yo, it's never happened before. I don't understand,
That's nature.
There goes old Jaws getting his little
He just had a nibble. He got his snack for the day.
Yeah. Or got a nibble and went, ooh, this isn't tasty.
And then shark flags don't only mean sharks, though. You're not going to have a flag for all the different kinds of animals. So sometimes we get swarms of blue bottles. My ever end. I hate those things. Jellyfish.
They suck,
Yeah, we get a lot of jellyfish swarms that come through every now and again. Whales.
Okay.
Kochel Bay is like wild there. Dolphins. What's wrong with you white people? When you see dolphins, you want to go swim with them?
Brilliant. I don't know. That
You know how many times I had to fight with people like, dude, it's a wild animal. Bro.
Yeah, dolphins, I think, I don't know, people seem to have this romanticized...
It's Flipper.
Yeah, it's Flipper. It's that, Flipper's
It's Flipper and not that killer whale? Free Willy.
Free Willy.
Yeah. Why are they all named after male parts?
I don't know, man. But I think you're right, though. People have this romanticized sort of idea...
Especially of dolphins.
Yeah. And I've checked a couple of videos where, like, if you get in the wrong side of the dolphins, they beat you up a little bit.
You don't know what language they speak either.
Exactly.
And the way they mate is basically rape. So they're violent things,
Yeah, no, they are, for sure.
I do know that you do get, like, your bottlenose dolphin that is probably more friendly than your common dolphin. You get, like, 3 or 4 different species of dolphins, some more friendly than the next. But why do you want to take that risk?
No.
even with
like if it's been trained and it's friendly, cool. But that's a wild animal. Yeah.
Even in the aquariums where they allow you to, they don't want you to give the fish to the thing. You must throw it because that guy will snap your fingers off quicker than you can say hi. You know. So even that one time with the seals, what happens is the seals are in the ocean. Shark chases seal. Seal run away. Seal get tired. Seal come to beach to catch his breath.
Yeah.
Find some sun or whatever. People want to go poke and play.
Can I touch that dog?
You know?
Or can I pet that dog?
Very much the same thing, bro. A lot of people, because those things, they're so tired and they lay and they sleep in the sun. Then people think it's dead. And then they go up and try and like open the flipper or see, because seals have little nails on their flippers.
I didn't know that. Okay.
It looks almost like a paw. They got smashed into a flipper. It's got like little... And you scratch like that. And so now people want to go and inspect this thing. And when they get there, the thing's just like, wah!
Yeah.
And the people spit. And if you get bit by that thing, I don't know if it's rabies or what.
That's going to hurt, bro.
But they, TV lies to people. Those things are deceivingly big.
Yeah. Well, that oak gets out at, what's the harbor there? Oh, man. Come on, Des. Kalk Bay.
Yeah, Kalk Bay. Yeah,
Kalk Bay. There's a cool fish and chip shop, Kalkies. And then you take a trap down there, and then there's a bro chilling there, man. He chills there by the way the oaks are cleaning the fish.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he does this.
No, but he's super tame compared to
but
the
he's
wild
chilled. But every
ones,
now and again, bro, some oak gets a bit too close, and he
goes with him.
I'm coming for you, bro. I'm coming for you.
I don't know if that guy's his handler or what, but he kisses that thing, dude. Disgusting. But you've seen the size of that guy, no?
Yeah.
That is relatively small compared to what I've seen. When I was working at Strand Pool, for those who don't know, Strand Pool is a weird pool because they built the pool on the beach.
Yes.
So, like, if you look out, like, when the tide is high, you can sit in the pool and watch the ocean hit the windows of the pool. So, sometimes seals and stuff come and sit on the sand there behind. And we call the SPCA and wildlife men saying, what to come out? They came with a bucky, a single cab, 1 ton bucky. I laughed when I saw it because I was like, there's no way this thing is going to fit on that bucky. They ended up having to bring a bulldozer, a truck with a little crane. Like, it was a massive job just to move that seal out of there.
Yeah.
Even when whales wash up, they try to blow up a whale.
Oh, man, yes.
To blow it up into smaller pieces to carry.
Yes, yeah.
Big mistake.
Pink mist, bro.
After the third day, that whale started swelling with gases and stuff. So if you punctured it, there was like scientists, they bring all these major things to come and sort it out, dude. And then they're just like, lifeguards, make sure no one touches it. And
oh, sure. Just on top of saving people's lives. Now, you must also just not...
all of a sudden be the bouncers
the policeman, and all of that stuff. The bouncer for the whale.
So when it comes, like, remember... It's like, I'd say it's worse than the Kruger. The ocean is a whole different world. Like, when you're going in there, you got to respect what's there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the water, you can get killed by the environment.
Exactly.
Never mind the animals.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Ignore the animals. Just the environment is dangerous.
Yeah.
You know?
Some people think they're Aquaman. So.
But Joe, you get dumped by a wave or something. And I'm like, I don't have like big lung capacity. So for some reason, I talk a lot and you'd think I would have. But, but I mean, like, when I go to the sea, I'm always cautious, like very cautious. Even when I went to Oz, I went to Bondi Beach, right?
One of my dreams, bro.
And like I went out there, and that's a relatively chilled beach in terms of waves and whatnot. It's not it doesn't seem to be, at least, you know, like a crazy one. And myself and my mate Chris, we went out. So I went out to Oz for a wedding, and then we did like a road trip, and that was one of the stops we made, like towards the end of the trip. And he was just like, "Dude, you got to go!" Like, and even there, I went out a bit. And I was just like, "Not really. This, no, that's cool, eh? It's fine. I'll go like 2 or 3 waves in, you know." Whereas like my mates was like, "No, really, let's go, you know." And I was like, "Yeah, no, that's cool." I'm always a bit nervous about the water.
They not underestimate, but they underestimate the conditions out there. Like, especially Cape Town, the weather changes in the blink of an eye, dude. Like, it can be 12 o'clock in the afternoon, sun is shining, blue skies, everything. 12:30. Wind is up and the waves are going crazy and everything's just hectic. A lot of the beaches, we can't see each other, but if we can see the same stuff on the deep ocean. So sometimes we'll get you'll hear all the walkie-talkies are all connected.
Oh, okay.
So if I'm working on Milnerton Beach and I talk on the walkie-talkie, every single lifeguard in the Western Cape that has a walkie-talkie is going to hear what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jeez, that must get a bit busy.
No, when there's an emergency, there's an emergency button that you press,
Right,
and
okay.
like there's a whole schlep about that. But a lot of the times you'll hear guys from like Glenken, hey, do you guys over there at that beach, do you guys have eyes on that windsurfer? And then Makasa Beach will come on and say, hey, Kailicha, can you see this? And Strand, can you see that? A lot of the people that we end up saving is those kite surfers.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes a gust of wind will probably pull them away, or the kite falls in the water and they have trouble getting it back up. So a lot of those guys, they take a lot of risks.
I saw a guy, he and myself went out to, we enjoy driving Clarence Drive.
Yeah.
So you go out Gordon's Bay side, up the coast, or like towards Claremont. And
it's the most beautiful drive.
Oh, it's like
it is the most. I think it's the most beautiful drive in this country. That other ocean drive gets such a
Chapman's,
yeah, that gets such a good rep. But I think Clarence Drive is a couple times better.
And so we go out there, and we're on our way back, and we stopped. So we're like, you stop and have a look at the ocean or whatever else. And next thing we check this bro cruising, right? On a, like, it just looks like he's on a surfboard.
Oh, and I've got that sail thing.
No, it's motorized.
Oh,
yeah. So it's got this fin on the bottom with a little battery powered motor or something. And here's this guy cruising, but there's no beach there.
Yeah.
He started off on some beach, right? Yeah. And he's off to another beach, and he's got a friend of his in a car, and she stopped there by us, and she came out of the binocs, and she's like, "Have you seen a guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, he's down there." And she's like, "Oh no, he fell down." I'm like, "Yeah, but he gets up, and then next thing, whoop, hey, he's up again."
Now, what would that chick do if something happened and that O wasn't shit?
No, dude.
She'd probably just phone NSRI.
Yes, you phone NSRI.
But at least he's making some form of precautions.
But he was
people
like,
that go out there that don't.
Yeah, he wasn't like deep or anything. He was like maybe 30, 40 meters, maybe 50 meters.
That same drive we're talking about, have you ever seen those little white crosses?
Yes.
Do you know what those are from?
No idea.
So you get a lot of fishermen that will go there.
Okay.
And then when the southeast has been blowing for a long time, it blows the water all towards Mitchell's Plain side. And then what we get a freak wave, basically a freak wave. When all that water settles, a huge, humongous wave will come back towards Gordon's Bay.
Interesting.
And if you're a fisherman and you're busy and you're a bit too
like
close to the water, that thing nails you. And it doesn't nail you into the water, it nails you into the rocks. Then you're gone. Then there's a little white cross there where you were standing.
Jeepers. I almost I almost got like washed out into the ocean once when I was
a scary feeling.
So we were like South Coast, was it South Coast in Natal or North Coast? I can't remember. But we went out there, my whole family, and we had like a bunch of people. So we used to foster the kids and whatever else. And then we had a guy, Henry, who lived with us. So he was like part of our church. And when we found out where he was staying, and we were just like, no, his parents had both died. He was like sleeping in a bath. It was like not lacquer, you know. So my dad is like, no, bro, no, this is not going to happen. We pulled in. We're like, we've got a spot. Anyway, so he comes with us, and off we go. Now, Henry, his name sounds a little white, but he is a very black guy, right? Henry Sleeper, and he couldn't swim or anything, bro. Like couldn't swim or anything, right? And he was teenager at that stage, so 16, 17. I was like maybe 12, 11, around there, right? And so I'm swimming lacquer, and it was like rocks on one side, so maybe beach-ish on the one side, rocks on the other, but quite tall rocks. And the water was kind of pulsing in and out, and as it does. And somewhere along the line, I just got pulled, bro. And I'm like, yo. I'm like, hey, what's going on here? And I'm just getting further and further. Next thing, bro, here comes my flipping brother, and I call him my brother, but here comes old Henry. He can't swim, bro. Dives in, grabbed me by the arm, whatever else, and the two of us kind of like fought our way back. But you feel so powerless.
Yeah.
Like, so powerless. And I think maybe that's like part of why I'm very cautious, around the water.
Which is the smartest thing to be.
Sure.
And like Henry is, I would say you guys were lucky because what we call a mass rescue.
Yes.
Usually originates from a story similar to yours where Henry will dive in not knowing how to swim, but because of its hero complex, or it's your family or it's your friend, you don't think about that.
Yeah.
You go in, now there's two problems for the lifeguard.
Yeah.
That's why we have, we get schools that come through and talk about water safety. We teach them about throwing a rope, one of the best.
Okay.
We don't like the human chain too much because if the people in the human chain can't swim, like let's say you are 100 meters in, you can't stand there where you are. So the people that are holding each other, they're under the water basically.
Yeah.
So human chain, we only teach them in shallow waters.
Sure.
You know, most of the time the best would be a throw line.
Okay.
And then the cities also started. I've seen those pink life-saving buoys.
Yes.
Yeah, those are for public use. So if you're on the beach and you see someone's in trouble, and you feel you've got that skill set, go ahead and do it.
So how buoyant are those things?
Very buoyant. One of those little pink things, ours we use is yellow. You do get red ones as well. When we go through our training, we make sure that the lifeguard only passes when 9 of us can stay afloat with one of those things. But you're not using it to keep all your weight on.
Sure.
Everyone has one hand on it.
Yeah.
And then
you got to kick a little bit.
You got to kick a little bit and help.
Yeah. But so for like two or three people, that thing's gonna help
very
you
easy,
big
very
time.
easy.
Yeah.
I've saved 4 people with one of those things.
Sure.
Just tell them, hold on and kick your feet, buddy. Kick your feet, buddy. I'll swim, I'll pull you out. It's fine.
Jeez. So now you spoke earlier about the riptides and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So water safety at the beach. What are we looking at? What do we need to be looking at there? Because we've spoken about watch your kids, stay clear of the glass and all of that kind of stuff, and don't be intoxicated.
Yeah.
When you go to the beach and you're happy chappy now, you're out there with your family. What should we be looking for? I don't even know.
Okay, so you arrive at the beach, you've got your cooler box in your hand, umbrella in the other hand, now you're looking for a spot to sit.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a beach with lifeguards, go and swim in the area that they've designated for swimming.
So that's with the 2 poles,
those 2 flags,
or the flags at least, yeah.
So if it's a life-saving club, they'll have flags with a little swimming man on it. Yeah. Other places will just put up poles, like rudimentary things. But the thing is, we get there early in the morning. We're looking at conditions.
Yeah.
We know what time this tide is coming in. We know if it's a spring tide or a high tide or a dangerous tide. We know what the beach acts like when the tide is. So we put up spots where we know, okay, you're going to be safe here for now. We're going to move the crowd over there at 12 just before the tide comes in, etc., etc. So when you do get to the beach, find the lifeguards. We friendly people. Ask us, how's the water today? Is it good?
Those are the oaks and the red pants, huh?
Yeah, red pants, yellow shirt most of the time. If it's me, I'm bare chested. But yeah, so talk to the lifeguards. But a lot of beaches, unfortunately, don't have lifeguards. I mean, we've got tons of coastline here in Cape Town, dude. And there's a lot of beaches that are hidden away, and people like those private places. So when you get to a beach that has no lifeguards, take at least 20 minutes. Sit on the sand and look at the water. Riptides are more prevalent when the tide is coming in or going out. So now the way a riptide works is waves comes in sets.
Yeah.
So you'll probably get, say, 3 to 6 waves per set. So now when the tide is coming in, those waves are like extra big. They've got a lot of bulk on them. So what happens is you'll get 1 big wave, 2 big wave, 3 big wave. By wave number 5, there's so much water that's by the beach, it doesn't have a chance to get back. Because the sets are just coming in one after the other. So what happens is water has this habit of finding the path of least resistance.
Yes.
So when all that water's up on the beach, it's going to find a path and basically carve a little tunnel for the water to drain back in. So you'll be able to see it very clearly. You'll see all the waves rolling, but then there's a particular part where it's like someone cut the waves. There's no waves there. So like waves this side, waves that side, but in the middle, no waves. It looks very calm. Mistake, not calm.
Not calm.
Yeah. We got there's a lot of times when there's undercurrents as well. It looks like the water's flowing to the left, but the undercurrent is going to the right. So in that calm water where the waves are not so violent, there's a massive undercurrent that's sucking into the ocean. That's why I like Kocho Bay.
So the water is coming over the top into the beach, and then underneath out of the beach.
It's draining back in. Yeah. So it does get very, very scary when you get caught in a riptide. Kocho Bay is super dangerous because there's lots of riptides. Usually a beach will have one main riptide that goes in. If you do get caught in the riptide, don't fight. You're fighting a losing battle. It's like trying to win a race on a treadmill because the water's moving.
trying to win a race on a treadmill.
I just thought of that.
That's
now,
great.
yeah.
That's fantastic.
But I mean, like the water's moving and you're swimming against the moving water. So it's basically a treadmill. You're going to be staying in exactly the same place.
Yeah.
And you will get tired. Any person gets tired. So if I get caught in a riptide, I relax. And I slowly try and pull myself parallel to the beach out of it. Sometimes what does scare me is when I do get out the riptide, I'm 500-600 meters out in the open ocean. But at least I've got all the energy in the world to swim back. Because what happens is people will fight the riptide fault, and then eventually when it does spit them out, which it is 100% going to do, it spits you out. When it does spit them out, they're so exhausted.
Yeah.
You know, physically, mentally, whatever, then they can't get back.
Yeah.
You know?
So I mean, you're saying just kind of embrace it, let it take you where it's going to take you. It's going to spit you out somewhere.
It will spit you out at a
Keep
point.
yourself afloat, deep breaths,
Even
hold
if
the
you-
lungs, all that kind of stuff.
Even if you're in a super panicky mode, if you're going to swim and you're going to fight it, don't swim towards the beach.
Yeah.
Try and swim parallel to the beach and
Sure.
get out of the riptide. It's just unfortunate, like if you're at Kogelbau, a place that has lots of riptides, you could swim from one into the next. But 99% of the time, 99% of the beaches, riptides, there's only one here and 2 kilometers down's another one
Sure.
there. So if you swim parallel and you pop out early, then you're much closer to the beach than at half or kilometer that you would be in originally.
Yeah.
A lot of beaches don't have boats, people.
Yeah, well,
So-
I mean, if you go to Strand and you check that NSRI, that hangar with those
False Bay is
big
pretty sorted.
boats and
West
whatnot.
Coast is pretty sorted, but there are a couple beaches where the boat is either derelict or they're putting it in for a service, or the hull is broken, or something's wrong with it.
Or
the
they just
engine's
don't
not
have one.
working. Or exactly. So you'll get those people that come to the beach like, no, if anything goes wrong, they'll come with the boat.
Yeah.
Don't always expect that, dude. It's not always.
Really, this is Africa.
genuine.
This is not America or Oz where they've got jet skis on the beach already and all that. Kind
Some
of stuff
beaches
that
will,
already-
like you get your camps bays and
Sure.
your sea points,
Yeah.
and then like it's unfortunate, man, but it's South Africa, dude. Some places get more resources than others. You
Yep.
know? So,
where the tax revenue is, the money
Be
gets
aware,
spent,
just
yeah.
be aware of where you are, what your lifeguards have. My bro, do you know they teach us that it's our choice if we want to save you or not?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody's life is more important to them than the next person.
Sure.
So if I'm going and I'm risking my life in order to save you, it's like the age-old question that everybody always asks the lifeguard, what if there's a shark in the water?
Yes.
Are you going to go in?
No.
Exactly. Exactly. Well,
Yeah,
babe,
I'm not coming to save you.
I mean, you will get the guy with the hero complex that doesn't think before he acts and he'll just motor into the water. That's his decision. If there's a shark in the water, my main priority is to get everybody else out.
Yeah.
You know, if that
Well, you're saving the bulk as opposed to one
Exactly.
potential moron who's like, hey, shocky.
you know what I'm saying? Like, there's even this thing they teach us called life over limb. So if you're drowning and somehow you get stuck under the water and your foot is stuck in a rock, I will break your leg
Yes, yeah.
to get you out,
Oh,
or
that
I'll
makes
break
sense.
your arm, or if you're trying to drown me, I'll smack you. Or there's been many times when I've broken people's noses and then they come and thank me afterwards
Yeah.
because they're in a panic mode. So when I swim towards them, the first thing that your instinct tells you to do is get above the water.
Yes, yeah.
So you're gonna grab
all
me,
arms and legs. Yeah,
push me down so you can go up. You know, so when I get there and you give me those kind of griefs, I pinch, I bite, I punch. You know,
What's the thing? I get myself into some trouble. Out comes Milo, bare chested, with his with your lifeguard thingy. And what should I do in that situation?
It's very seldom that you'll get a lifeguard performing a rescue on his own.
Okay.
So even if you only see him alone,
There's someone else.
his backup is standing on the beach because anything can happen where he might need help.
Sure.
But if you're busy drowning, the lifeguard gets to you, just follow his instructions, bro. He will give you instructions.
I suppose it's tough when you kind of swallowing water and you're freaking out and you
but they'll always put your safety as a priority.
Sure.
Like for instance, I'll keep myself underwater and I'll hold you up in order to get breath, in order for you to calm down a bit to realize like, okay, now this Ode knows what he's doing. And then I'll tell you, listen here, this is what's gonna happen. Hold on to this, kick your legs.
Yeah.
The only time we really use those little plastic buoys is when it's a fast rescue. Like you just run past, you take that thing, you go in.
Yes.
Your lifeguards that are with you, they'll follow you with the surfboards. We call them kneeboards.
Yes.
They'll come.
There's like those big kind of
those extra big surfboards. They'll come with those afterwards. If there's a big problem while those O's are going in, there's other O's getting the boat ready to launch. It's not like, there's a rescue now. We all sit and watch.
Yeah, let's wait and see what happens.
You see, everything gets happen. As I'll be swimming in towards you, the lifeguard's got the first aid kit ready. The lifeguard has a walkie-talkie ready just in case we need law enforcement or ambulance. Other lifeguard has the boat getting started or whatever. So as I get to you, I'll assess the situation. If I need help, I'll signal out. Yeah, I need help. If I don't need help, I'll signal out. It's all good. I got it. Give you the thing. Let you come out. But most of the time for a rescue, 2-3 lifeguards will go in.
Sure.
Help you out.
How many people have you saved?
I don't count.
Or you lost count?
It's hard to count, dude, because what do you see as a save? So for me, fair. Hey, you get away from that. Is that a save?
Okay, so let's say, so fair point. But in your mind, you've just saved that because he was like,
but in your mind, you're like, no,
that was nothing.
But I've lost 6 people.
6.
Yeah. 3 of them died in my arms, and 3 of them I was involved in the whole rescue situation. That's also a whole nother can of worms because in the police come, you have to give statements.
Yeah.
I've had to go to court twice as a witness.
Okay.
Because do you know how hard it is, dude? Because if you're blaming everything on the mom and you're a witness in court, you say it's the mother's fault. So sometimes it does get a bit emotionally wrecking. But yeah.
What's I know you've got a couple of stories, so maybe I mean, I don't know if you want to tell 1 or 2 of the stories of some of the saves that you've done.
As a couple, let me think. Okay, yeah. Strand Beach is a long beach. You know how long Strand Beach is. The Life Saving Club doesn't cover the entire beach.
They cover that section.
That's the main section where the club is. But they will send patrols out every hour or so just to make sure everything else is going all right. Just next to the pool by stairs is the slipway for the boats. So you'll get guys that have boats the size of a bathtub that are going into the water to go catch fish or whatever, people messing around in inflatables and so on and so forth. So the one day I was standing by the baby pool at Strand Pool. There's a massive window there where you can see out onto the beach. So there was like 2 or 3 kids in the water. I look out and I see there's a small boat. It's going out of the slipway. Where the boat goes in, there's hardly any waves, but just go 20 meters to the left or right, massive waves. So I see this boat slowly moving over to where he's not supposed to be. If he was about 100 meters further in, he'd be fine because then he's out of the brake line. But he's in the middle of the brake line and he's moving slightly left. Eventually, I see the boat capsizes. As the boat capsizes, 2 lifeguards came running down from our top station because they got walkie-talkie from Strand Club, Strand Pool. This happened just behind the water. As they're running down, they grab the T-boys, the torpedo boys, those little plastic things. 2 of them are gone. As the 3rd guy wanted to run, I said, my bro, you stay here and watch the people that's in the pool already, bro. I mean, you was young and inexperienced, super excited to go, but we need someone to watch our main job is the pool, so we need someone to watch the pool. As I went out, I grabbed 3 pairs of flippers, first aid kit, whistles, like everything we'd need. As I got to the pool, the lifeguards were already in the water. I blow on the whistle. They turn around to look at me like, why are you stopping us already? I throw the flippers at them like, my dream was going to go faster, Gave them the flippers. They went in. Some lady on the beach starts shouting at me, why don't I also go in? So I look at him like, but there's already 3 O's in the water.
Yeah.
There's only 2 O's drowning. Plus, I'm going to direct them. There's rocks and stuff that they can't see that I can see from outside. Plus, when you're in the water, if a wave is right here, you can't see over the wave. So I'm directing. Every time I blow the whistle, I left, right, further in. What? Eventually, they get the guys and start pulling them out. They had life jackets on, everything. They looked the part. Eventually, as they got closer, the lifeguards were nice and tight, so I went in to go help. At the time, the water was about chest height. Pulled the guys out, then took their lifesaver, the vest off. And I saw the vest at a pass by date, if you want to call it that, of 1995. So the
but I've seen that. Like my dad and myself bought Life Vest, and they also had like a best before date almost. Yeah.
So now what happens is whatever material's in there is floaty, but only probably because there's some substance on it that makes it floaty. After time, that substance gone, then it's like a sponge. So it just sucks up water, and it's not buoyant as it should be anymore. So it's more of a hassle than a lifesaver, you know. So we take off the life jacket, put it under there. They didn't need CPR or anything, but they were, like, you could see they saw God. They saw God, and the whole time the one friend's looking for his friend. He's like, where is he? Where's Ricky? Where's Ricky? I'm like, Ricky's here next to me. He's like, nah, I tried to grab him. I couldn't grab him. I'm like, nah, bro, you guys are all right. But yeah, like silly things like that can happen, bro. Yeah. Another issue, it was at a Harmony Park. So now it's tidal pools. People jump out of the tidal pools to go swim deeper in. As the tide came in, the pools have a slopey shape to them. And so when the water rushes against it, it creates whirlpools. We call it the washing machine, the tumble dryer, because it's just super crazy there. So the lighty dove in after we told him not to. And then he didn't come up.
Oh, man.
So we're wondering, like, where's his own now, bro? So we thought maybe he's just being naughty, swimming under the bridge to the other side. So all the lifeguards we're running, we're going to go check. Next thing, there is he floating there at the back. Like, say, about 80, 100 meters away from where he dived in.
And how quick did that happen?
In the moment, it feels super quick. But if I had to think about it, it's at 2 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
2 minutes from the time he dove in, and we didn't see him, and then we're looking for him, and then we saw him like, hey, there's he there, but he's not moving. So then one of the lifeguards that worked with us at Harmony Park, he grew up at Harmony Park, so he dove off of the pier into the open ocean, went to go straight to the lighty. Some of the other lifeguards went to go fetch equipment, and I just stood there, the walkie-talkie, thinking, am I needing ambulance? Do I need the morgue? Do I need police? Who do I need? Eventually, they get the lighty, they pull him out, and then he had what looked like a vagina on his head. Because the rocks, they are pretty sharp, man. It's like knives.
Yeah.
So when he dove, he didn't dive in and pop back up, you know. He just dove and went straight down, and that rock hit him center mass.
Oh, man.
Vagina on the head. Brain matter. All of that good stuff.
Oh, man.
That guy didn't make it,
Yeah.
There's been times when there's fights at the beach.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what caused the fight, but the child, probably 11, 12 years old, got upset at an elderly guy. So as the elderly guy turned to walk away, the child picked up a plank. Unbeknownst to him, the plank had nails in.
Oh, man.
And he gave that, a lacquer on the head. And then the plank was stuck.
Oh, man.
You know, so now you can't just pull it out. Because you don't know what brains it's hit or whatever.
Yeah.
So that guy made it. I've seen the kids is like fashion. They all dive one after the other. So now if you
they want to make a TikTok video or something.
You know what I'm saying? But if you're in the story, you know that once you hit the water, move the hell out the way, because number 2 is coming after me. So now, like, all the kids from Strand, they grew up at the beach, they know the story. But now here comes a kid from Stellenbosch or a place where there's no beach. Now they see the nice vibes. Now they want to join the line. They dive in, they come up exactly where they were.
Oh, man.
By the time he comes up, the other O's already mid-air. Head-to-head collision. Yeah. I've had, it looked like a bowl. Like, you know, if you take something soft and you just whack it, then it makes an indent like that. Foam coming out the eyeballs.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
You deal with a lot, China.
I had to go for counseling. Yeah. After my first person passed away, I had to go for counseling. And it was somewhere in Cape Town, one of those high-rise buildings. But I sat there probably for about 30 minutes with the lady talking. And then the one question she asked me, she's like, Myles, there's not a lot of people that can handle this job now. I said, yeah, there's aspects of it that are pretty messed up. And she's like, so now if you quit today, who's going to be there tomorrow to do the things that you are doing? So like after she said it like that, it made sense. I was like, oh, okay. So
do you feel like you've got a responsibility?
Yeah. One thing lifeguards always say is once a lifeguard, always a lifeguard.
Sure.
Like it's hard for me now to go to a beach and enjoy myself. Because I'm constantly working.
Dude, I have that with concerts and sound. Because like I'm a sound guy. Yeah, you
Oh,
got
there's
a
too much
constant
reverb.
Yeah,
They
too
should
much
have put
this,
that.
too much
You
that.
see?
Yeah,
So it's the same
yeah.
when, like, if we go now, say now for Christmas time, I'm off. We go to the beach.
That you're gonna be sputting and
You know?
watching and looking and whatever.
What's that lifeguard doing? Look at him. He's just sleeping. You know, like it's
Yes.
in you. It's in you.
Yeah.
And then even in the mall, like sometimes you like in your own world, and then there's a child that's running past you full speed. Like, hey, don't run. Like, oh shit, I'm not working right now. You know.
Yeah. I always talk about a young fictitious guy called Frikkie.
Yeah.
And I always ask people when they come here, like, young Frikkie is sitting listening to this podcast and goes, yo, I want to become a lifeguard. What does Frikkie do to become a lifeguard? Should Frikkie become a lifeguard? Is also part of that question, I suppose.
Look, life saving is an awesome industry to get into because one, a lot of people think we do it for free. Yeah, you do get voluntary service, but
Sure.
if you get a contract with the city of Cape Town or with Life Saving South Africa, you get paid and you get paid fairly well. There's a lot of guys I know that started life saving in high school because you can get a holiday job, is what they call it. At the age of 16, you can work for December holidays or weekends or whatever. And they use that money to pay for studies, pocket money or whatever.
Yeah.
There's two guys I know, they're twins. One's a lawyer, one's an accountant. They're sitting with zero education debts or what do they call that stuff?
Yeah, student loans.
They got zero of that. They paid their way with life saving. A lot of the time on the beach, it's quiet. They sit there and they study. I know a guy that learns how to play guitar. You know, so it's an awesome industry to go in. It teaches you how to deal with people.
Yeah.
How to deal with difficult people. It pulls you out of your comfort zone a lot. Teaches you how to respect different people's cultures. And look, I don't care what people say, but stereotypes, they help a lot in our job. Like, for instance, I'm just going to say it out straight. If a white family comes to the beach and a Nigerian family or a Congo family comes to the beach, I'll have a bit more alertness when it comes to the Congo family.
Sure.
Because where they come from, there's no beach.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to say, but a lot of the time they can't swim very well, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, you do learn how to navigate life a bit easier when it comes to people. A lot of people I know that was in life saving are now paramedics. They moved from lifeguarding to paramedics. A lot of them I know went into law enforcement. These are all avenues that you can go into through life saving. A lot of people I know are working now overseas, Dubai and those ships,
Yes,
like
yes,
Disney
yes.
cruise liners
Yeah.
and all of that. They get jobs doing that.
The yachts.
Super yachts. I know a couple of those that work on famous people's super yachts. If you want to become a lifeguard, the best avenue to go down is to join a life-saving club.
Okay.
So any life-saving club, the one that's closest to you. Do you know Joburg has life-saving clubs?
Interesting.
Yeah.
For pools, I'm assuming.
No, for pools, dams, and open water.
There
Because
we go.
they've got
Yeah,
even
yeah.
there are a few surf lifeguards because they got fake beaches there.
Yes, yeah. There's that rich dude who built a beach.
Some kind of a fake beach.
Yeah.
So they I was super shocked because lifeguarding is considered a sport. So you get people that don't do it as a job, like saving people literally, but it's a sport. So there's certain Australia has the lifeguarding world champs every year.
Okay.
So all the lifeguards from different countries will go and represent their country for medals. It's kind of like an Olympics. What was the point?
How do you become a lifeguard?
Yeah, so once you do become once you do approach the club, depending on your age, you might join what we call the nippers, the junior lifeguards. That's for 16 and under. That's where you're learning all the different signals we use, etc., etc. If you don't want to work on the beach, they'll have avenues for you to go to because you get your beach certificate, you get open water certificate, dams, lakes, rivers, and then you get your pool certificate for pools. So they'll be able to advise you which one to go for. They're all different as well, beach being the toughest to get. But once you have your beach certificate, then hey, for a way.
You're set.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question I ask everybody that comes on is we've been an hour already. Can you believe it?
It doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't. So this is a Grow a Pair podcast, and I think like a lot of what you've been talking about, and you've mentioned a couple of things that you've had to definitely grow a pair, and sort of like you say, you've got to put your life in danger to go save somebody, or you've got to get fit, every year so that you can do what you do, and it takes hard work and it takes effort and energy and that kind of thing. And I think you kind of in that aspect of what you do work-wise, you embody the grow a pair, whatever, this thing I'm trying to sort of get across to people, But for you, what does growing a pair mean?
Growing a pair means to have guts, if that's a good way to put it, to basically have the balls to do something. Like, even if you're a female, having balls doesn't physically mean having testicles, but like, I know with guys, if some guy does something everybody else is scared to do, they're going to say, that guy's got some balls.
Sure.
Yeah. So for me, growing some balls is to do something that I wouldn't say afraid to do, but something that you don't want to do. Growing a pair means just having that vuma in you to get it done.
Nice. I like it. Myles, thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure.
It's been a lot of fun. I know you were a little nervous.
I was nervous,
but why do I need to come on your show?
At the same time, thankful, because it's a perfect time of the year as well. Yes. Summer is coming, and then whoever listens to this, if you take anything to heart, safety first, guys.
Exactly.
Safety first, bro.
No, that's awesome.
But enjoy the beaches. We've got, to be honest with you, we got the most beautiful beaches, I'd say, in the world, dude.
Yeah.
We are super lucky down here.
No, we are.
Yeah.
Indeed. Lucky, dude. Thank you so much for coming on.
Bro.
And off to the next one, eh?
Yeah.
And good luck with the season coming forward, bro.
Thank you.
It's going to be...
it's going to be hectic. It feels like it's going to be super hot.
Dude, I think with the winter we've had, I think we're going to have a blinder. And that's going to mean more people on the beach and in the pools and... Yeah,
exactly.
Hopefully you get the assignment you want.
All you Joe Burgers, please just be nice when you come down here, dude. We know you're excited. It's the beach and it's nice, but still, the Joe Burgers can be a hectic people.
Oh yeah, no, anyway, cool. Lucky man. Thank you so much, bro. Cool. Cheers.